Oh man, oh man. Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here, traveling with Bruce. Welcome to TWB for Monday night, August the 14th, 2023. Nice to see you all, folks. Here from Calgary, Alberta in Canada. I'll tell you, here in Canada, in Calgary, it was hot today. We hit 90 degrees here. We haven't had 90 for about 4 weeks, 3, 4 weeks. It has been a while. Tomorrow we're going to 93, and we're going 93 on Thursday. But Friday, high of 69, high of 59 on Saturday, 62 on Sunday. We're cooling off right after the Thursday of this week. So it won't last long. I hope you're doing okay wherever you are. You're staying relatively cool and you're safe. And if you're on vacay, I hope you're having a great time wherever you are. If you're able to catch us for the show, it's so great to see you here tonight. Sponsor members are here. Regulars are here. Nice to have you all. Nice to see you. Next week, Monday, Jennifer and I will still be here for our last Monday in Calgary. And on Tuesday, next week, Tuesday, we are flying. We're out of here. We're heading to London, and we're beginning our European getaway. And we'll be updating you from there. Definitely shooting videos, and you'll be able to catch up on us with us over there as we travel for almost 2 months. So looking forward to that, and quite excited. Great to have you here. Like I said, it's wonderful weather here, clear blue sky, absolutely wonderful. Every once in a while, every few days, we seem to get a good old thunder shower that builds during the day and just comes up barreling in, and then it clears right up as if nothing happened. Quite the interesting pattern of weather. But today it looks like a clear, calm day with no wind, just a nice, hot, sunny day. Welcome, everyone. Ken Koreka is in the house. Hello, Ken, and hello, Janet. They're here from Saginaw, where it's 66 today. Very pleasant, with rain that just lasted. It started lasting until Tuesday, they say. Gas, $4 a gallon for regular. Janet, Ken, number 4 thumbs ups. Thank you, guys. I gotta say, all of you out there are amazing. You're just amazing. You're hitting the thumbs up button for us, which I cannot thank you guys enough for doing that. We try to reach 100 thumbs ups every telecast here, and we usually leave the show with 50 to 60 thumbs ups that have come through from all of you live viewers. But it's those rerunners out there. You know who you are. You catch the show tomorrow or the day after, Wednesday, and you do the kindest thing for me. And not only do you hit the thumbs up button, but then you let me know what number you were so I can keep track of how we're doing. And I tell you, last week we hit 100 plus again every time. So thank you, those of you who can hit that thumbs up button. If you can nail it right now, please do so. It gives the show some momentum. Lets YouTube know we're alive. Shady Hill Homestead, how you doing, everybody? Welcome. Number 3 thumbs up. Tom Henry, hello, TW fans. Number 7, Tom Henry. How you doing there, buddy? Thank you for sir. Sharon saying hi, number 7 as well. I can't stick around because I have a lot of work tonight, but I wanted to check in. Nice to see you, and thank you for that. Brittany Anderson, I'm in for this show. Yes, Robert, waiting for the big show. Thanks, Robert, and thank you for those thumbs ups on the other channel too. My Stock Markets with Bruce channel. Thank you, my friend. Tom Henry, hi there. Sharon, next Sunday we arrive in Bermuda on the NCL Pearl. We'll be visiting Crystal Cave and the Triangle Beaches at the East End. I hope to convince Cindy to go with me on the Hamilton. Tom Henry, Hamilton Ferry. Do you have any favorite restaurants in Hamilton? Karen Tijan is here. Hi, Bruce. Karen here from Killdeer, Illinois, Northern Illinois. It's 66 here. Has been raining all day. Much needed rain. Gas, $3.75 a gallon. Stephen Butler, hello to the TWB family. Number 6, 80 Fahrenheit, cooling off a little bit. Gas, $3.67 in Northwest Arkansas. Arkansas has great state parks, by the way. Jeannie Lavinghouse is here. Hello, Bruce and all TV builders. Bill and Jeannie are here for the big show from East Tennessee. Thank you, guys. 83 degrees with rain. Welcome, Jeannie. Nice to have you here tonight. Robert, I gave a thumbs up at the 6 o'clock p.m. I forgot what number I gave you this morning on SMB. It's all good, my friend. I appreciate it. Karen, fully booked on Celebrity May 2024 from Rome to Ravenna prior to my daughter's wedding in Florence. So excited. I got a great deal and a $700 cabin credit. A nice job, Karen. Well done. Alan Carter from Calgary. The man is here. How you doing, pal? Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Kelly Haston is also here. Hi, Kelly. Just booked another transatlantic, October 27th to November 11th, Rome to Fort Lauderdale, Odyssey of the Seas. Nice trip. That'll be great. Sharon Tom Henry, we always enjoy Flanagan's on Front Street, especially if an outside table on the balcony is available. There's expertise right there. Stephen, Tom Henry, Tobacco Bay on St. George's East End was our swimming hole when I was a kid. My father was stationed at Kindley Air Force Base when it was still active. How about that? Isaac from Waco. How are you, my good friend? Welcome, Isaac, to the show. Sharon, the Swizzle Inn near the Crystal Caves is a staple for us. Brittany Anderson, I wish I could remember the gas price at Buc-ee's in Alabama. We stopped there after having lunch at Lambert's Cafe. Back to work. Have a great week. Thank you, Sharon. Take care. Diane Flowers, I am number 23 on the thumbs up meter. We're almost a quarter of the way there to the 100 number we're always shooting for. Thank you guys for helping us out here today. 24 thumbs ups are now in the house. They're coming in from you wonderful people. It is so greatly appreciated. Thank you. Nikki, greetings from Jacksonville right now, 81. Welcome. Hi, Nikki. Nice to have you here, sponsor member. Diane Flowers, hello, Bruce and all in Delaware, 85 degrees, gas, 371. Fantastic. Thank you all for being here this morning or this evening or this afternoon from wherever you are, wherever you're located, whatever time zone you're in. I got a little bit of news for you. And I got something else for you that you might kind of get a kick out of. If you're 50 or younger, okay, you want to stick around because if you are 50 or younger, you do not know what it is I'm going to show you today. You never experienced it, which kills me. It blows my mind because if you're 50, you were born in 1973. If I got my mathematics correct. And you weren't an adult until, 1993, 95, 2010. Some of you took a while to bloom. I know. It's okay. In any event, you do not know. You have no idea what I'm going to show you. You never got to see, but this was the world just before you showed up. Oh, my God. Hang on. Just hang on. Okay, look, here we go. Got some news today. Let's get into that. Now, you might recall about a month or so ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago, I brought up the story about, and it wasn't me that started it. I just commented on a story that was making the rounds about how a company in Norway, I believe, which is owned by Owens Corning, which is a big U.S. company, they specialize in making fireproof paneling for ships, passenger ships and other ships. And a typical passenger cruise ship will have fireproof paneling in between the walls of all cabins, in the flooring, in the ceiling, between the in the hallway walls, the flooring there, the ceiling there, down below deck, all over the place, fireproof paneling, because you're talking about, equipment that's operating down below deck where there's no fresh air. We're talking about, the kitchens, the laundry facilities, the generating plants that produce the electricity, the pumping stations, the engines, where all the fuel is kept. Yeah, it's really important to have fire protection on a ship because ships are kind of like contained metal units that when a fire breaks out inside a ship, it can get really bad really fast. And so fire protection is the order of the day. And you'll notice that if you ever go on a cruise ship, you'll probably notice that there are sprinklers here and there, fire suppression equipment all over the place. And at times you'll be on a cruise and you'll hear an alarm go off, and it might be predated by an announcement, like an announcement overhead saying, we're going to do some testing because we're in port today. and people are off the ship on their excursions. And while you guys are gone, there's only like 10% of the passengers hanging around on the ship. We're going to do fire drills with our crews. They do this all the time. Okay. The company that I'm talking about that makes these fire panels is called Paroc, P-A-R-O-C, Paroc. And about 5-6 weeks ago, a story broke out of England, out of the Financial Times newspaper, a huge story that Paroc fire retardant panels for the last 10, 12 years have failed fire tests. Now, I don't understand why it took this long to figure this out. I would have thought 10 years ago, these would have been defective then to defective now. But apparently, standards, I guess, have been, much more difficult now, much more intense. Cruise ships are built totally different than they were 25 years ago. And so the testing is more rigorous, I guess. And these panels are failing fire suppression. They're a cruise ship with these panels, separating all the cabins, all the everything else, all the cabins downstairs where the crew is. By the way, the crews can smoke at the back of the ship and stuff, or maybe they're not allowed to, but they do it anyway. In any event, a cruise ship today catches fire. It's a big deal, and it has happened where a passenger will be smoking when they're not supposed to be smoking on a passenger balcony, and they flick their cigarette out into the ocean, and they see it go, and then it just goes way down there because the ship's going this way, and they don't even think about it. What they don't realize is that the aerodynamics of a cruise ship, you flick the cigarette butt out, and it catches the air, it gets caught by the air and gets sucked in back to the ship, back down below a deck or two, perhaps on a balcony, maybe on a towel that's been left on a lounger. And next thing you know, because the butt has been pushed into the air at 20 miles an hour, wind, it's just igniting that butt, it's turning that butt into a flare. It lands on a towel at a hot, glowing temperature, and immediately the towel catches fire. You got a problem, because once you have a fire on board a cruise ship, like I said, there can be all kinds of problems. Anyway, story goes that 49 cruise ships have now been identified that have these defective panels on them, and they have now been identified. We now know the names of the actual ships that are with defective panels. And the problem with this is, here they are here, by the way, for Carnival. The problem with this is insurance companies are saying to, let me just pause for a second. Insurance companies are saying to the cruise lines, and they're going to say to the cruise lines, it's only a matter of time. If your ship has defective Paroc panels on board, you can't get fire insurance. Your fire insurance is null and void because it has defective firefighting properties on board the ship. Now here we go. Let me take a look at this. Check this out with me. The list mentioned this article. I'm copying here a quote from our friend Jim Walker, who has Cruise Law News. Great outfit. And he mentioned he got a list of those ships, and this is Carnival's ships. We're talking about Carnival Vista, Carnival Miracle, Carnival Valor, Carnival Victory, Carnival Spirit, the Carnival Pride, Carnival Legend, Carnival Conquest, Carnival Glory. 4 ships operated by Princess that Carnival owns: Crown Princess, Star Princess, Crown Princess, Royal Princess. 4 ships owned and operated by Holland America: the Zaandam, Koningsdam, Amsterdam, Westerdam. 5 ships by Costa Cruises: Costa Atlantica, the Mediterranean, the Diadema, and 2 unnamed ships. 2 ships operated by Ada Cruises, the Ada Avida and the Ada Aurora, and 1 ship operated by Peninsular Oriental, P&O, the Britannia, and 1 ship operated by Seabourn Encore, just to give you 26 from Carnival. Here are 16 from Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean: Adventure of the Seas, Navigator of the Seas, Mariner, Freedom of the Seas, Oasis, Allure, Anthem, Independence, Ovation, and Liberty. 4 ships by Mein Schiff, joint venture between Royal Caribbean and a German shipping and travel giant TUI. Mein Schiff 3, Mein Schiff 4, Mein Schiff 5, Mein Schiff 6, 2 other cruise ships operated by Silver Seas Cruises, Silver Shadow and Silver Mirage. 5 ships owned by Norwegian, 3 operated by Norwegian Cruise Line, Norwegian Sky, Sun, and Escape, and 2 cruise ships operated by Seven Seas Cruises, Seven Seas Explorer and Seven Seas Voyager. And then to round it out, there's 3 for Viking, the Viking Star, Viking Sea, Viking Sky. The list also includes 9 ships installed. It would be MSC Meraviglia, the Midnat Soul, Burka Paradise, Genting Dream, The World, Residence at Seas, Troll Fjord, L'Areal, that's a Ponant cruise, 6 stars, Olympic Spirit, and Viking Grace. These are the ships that have the Paroc systems on board that have failed and are no longer considered worthy of fire protection. No plans, no news, no nothing from any of the cruise lines about any of these ships. They're sailing as normal, fully loaded, 100% occupancy or vacancy, right up to 110%. Full bore summer season cruising is underway with no word on any adjustments to be made to anything. And I'm thinking, my hunch is you talk about a 2,500 passenger, 3,000 passenger cruise ship, you're talking 1,200 to 1,500 cabins, 2 walls, a floor, and a ceiling per cabin have to be replaced, redone, somehow done for the, how many millions of dollars this is going to cost? How many tens of millions per ship? What if they don't have fire insurance? What if these insurance companies notify these cruise lines, you have no valid fire insurance on board these ships? If there's a fire, anywhere, you can't put in a claim. You have a loss of life on board a cruise ship, you're on your own. You're naked. You have no insurance against claims from individuals. God forbid there's one American that dies on a cruise ship because the case will go to court in the USA. And oh my Lord, you have an idea what the settlement has to be? It's going to be nuts. I just thought I'd mention that. Unbelievable. That's the latest over there. That story is still brewing and will continue to go for a long, long time. I'll update it from time to time. In the meantime, I got news from these guys. Voyager Sailings, the folks at Voyager. Virgin Voyages. I'll get it. Virgin Voyages. That's a picture of the Scarlet Lady. There was a press release made by Virgin Voyages on a great promotional deal. Now, normally I don't talk about this very often because every cruise line has their advertising and they have their, they're trying to hustle you to sign up now and book a cruise for next year. And we got deals. But I saw this one and I thought this was an interesting story because the headline was $500 discounts on sailings, which that didn't impress me very much. No surprise, no, nothing shocking there. But what got me was the second half of this press release. Let's not kid anybody. You can save $600. You can save $600 on your beverages. And that stopped me dead in my tracks. And I thought, wait, whoa. Hold a sec. $600. I can save $600 on beverages. Just what are you talking about? What beverages are you talking about? What kind of beverages would I happen to save $600 on? So I thought, well, this has got to be like a 30-day cruise or something, 2-week cruise or something. Oh, no. 1 week cruises. 1 week. 7-nighters. And and I know, when you get on the ship on the first day, you're allowed to get on the ship at noon or 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you got to do the muster drill. And you can order a drink sometimes right away. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't order a drink till the ship's at sea. You got to get into international waters, then you can get a drink. So there are times where you can't get a drink until 5, 6 at night on the first night. On the last day, when you get back to the port, the bars are closed. You can't get a drink. The last drink was at 3 a.m, last night in international waters, and they shut that thing down. So, let's get real here. How many days really can you drink on a cruise ship? And then think about this. If you're on a 7-day cruise and it's a Caribbean cruise, how many stops are you going to make? Like all day long, right? You get to Jamaica, you wake up in the morning at 8 in 9, or if you do wake up that early, you look out your window, you're in port. You're in port, and it's a excursion day, right? A lot of people get off the ship and off they do whatever their excursions are, whether it's Cayman Islands or the Bahamas or Bermuda or whatever you're doing, right? You're not drinking on the ship all day. You're not drinking 7 days straight on a cruise ship from noon until 2 a.m, 7 days in a row. You're not doing that. So how can you save $600 on a cruise, on booze? What are you charging for a drink? This is what got me. I almost didn't want to go any further with this story. I just want to say, how crazy are people now that they would go on a cruise for 7 nights and get a $500 discount? Fair enough. Whatever you're paying, you're paying. You get a nice balcony room, but you're dropping $600 on alcohol. How is your liver doing? How are you an alcoholic? Are you really wasted? Are you getting wasted? Is that your whole idea of a cruise, is to get wasted every day on a cruise? I'm shocked at that. Anyway, so I wanted to show you this little, I scooped this up from one of the publications where I saw this thing. And what you're looking at here is just, literally written by the cruise line. This is not written by any journalist, okay? Prospective sailors, that's what they call themselves. They call passenger sailors on the Virgin Voyages. Prospective sailors can claim up to $400 off their voyage fares when they book aboard a 2023 Caribbean voyages, and up to $500 off when booking aboard voyages to the Caribbean or Australia for travel dates well into the spring of 2024. On itineraries lasting at least 7 nights, guests will also be given $600 in premium drinks credit per cabin, while guests sailing on voyages of 6 nights or fewer will receive $300 premium drinks credit per cabin. Now, I'm just going to stop for a minute. I understand there are possibly 2 drinkers in a cabin, husband and wife. Not in our cabin. Jen and I go on a cruise. I'm a non-drinker. I don't drink alcohol. She does. So it's $600 for one. Okay, just anyway, let's continue on. On top of that, travelers can save 10% off cruise costs by booking at least 180 days in advance, or 5% when they book within 179 to 121 days prior to their departure. Those who pay for their cruise in full can enjoy an additional 10% discount. Now, I read that paragraph a couple of times, and something else struck me like right in the forehead, like an arrow right here. This cruise line is offering discounts if you book now, well in advance, and if you pay up front, they'll give you another discount. You know what this means? These guys are hurting. These guys are hurting financially. They are desperate for cash. They are desperate to sell their cruises into 2024 anywhere they can, and they want you to pay ASAP, and they're going to give you deals to get you on board. That is what I'm noticing by reading that comment. And I just mentioned it to you as a public service that on Virgin, they've got deals, okay? But they're also throwing in the kitchen sink to get you to book. And it's gotta get me wondering, are these guys having trouble filling their ships? And they're now throwing these offers around to get money up front. To get money a year in advance, they'll give you 10% off. They need that money now. They can't wait until the cruise to get the money. That bothers me. I wonder how deep the pockets are at Virgin. I'm just throwing it at you. This is an unusual offer or a overly generous offer. Okay. All right. So that's that. All right. So now, those of you who are here, 46 of you brave souls are still watching me. I have something for you now. I'm going to show you some pictures. Thank you for the 37 thumbs ups that have already come in. I really appreciate it. Keep those thumbs ups coming in if you can. Okay, now look. I was thinking, the last 2 weeks that I've been here, I've been telling you stories about, what it was like if probably for your grandparents, what it would have been like after the war, the Second World War. I'm talking about the Second World War, WW2. In 1948 to 1952, if you wanted to travel to Europe back in the day, and you were living in the middle of the United States, or you're living in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and you wanted to go to London, England, and France and Switzerland and any other countries in Europe, to do that, there was no way you could just hop on a plane and 10 hours later land in London, Heathrow. Come on. No. It's true. In the late 40s and early 50s, there was plane service available, but it certainly wasn't jets. Jets didn't show up until 1959-60. So how did you do it? And 2 weeks ago, I showed you all kinds of illustrations and advertisements of the day of these large ocean liners going across the Atlantic. And then last week, I was talking to you guys about taking wonderful vacation cruises and traveling on ocean liners in the 60s, late 50s and 60s, and how the cruise lines were desperately trying to hang on to their business because they were the king of the hill from the 1800s, the 1850s until the 1950s. Transatlantic ocean crossing was the way you did it. And, there were these ads that you can see right here, modern American living on board ocean liners owned by the USA company. Here's, you see the chef there and the women and men having a wonderful time taking what's called the Sun Lane to Europe. This ship would leave New York, head south, and then go across the Atlantic in the southern Atlantic, not the northern Atlantic. Ship full of ideas, ships with polarized windows for your portholes, and all beautiful stuff. And look at the good time these folks had. Do you notice something that's quite consistent about all the passengers in this photo? Do you notice something really consistent about them? They're very, very, very similar. I'm not saying it. I'm just asking. Anyway, that was then. Okay, so and then these cruise lines, they had the staffs and they were taking good care of you, and it was wonderful. And then, of course, we had Cary Grant and we had Deborah Kerr in a movie called An Affair to Remember, 1956-57. The last years, just before it was all over for the cruise lines, because starting in 59, it started to end because airlines came into being to fly across in 6 hours from New York to London. But this was the way you crossed in 1956-57. You went across, and so they made a movie about this couple, this pretend couple, An Affair to Remember. Okay, now let me move forward in time. Let's move forward. I've got two things to talk to you about. The first thing is about cruising in the 70s and the 80s, and then I want to talk to you about air travel in the 70s and the 80s. Oh, and you kids 50 and under, you're getting ready. You get ready. Okay, look at this. Look at the luxury of this cabin on a cruise. Oh, man, look at how comfortable that guy is. Because in the daytime, his bed is like a couch. And isn't that great? You got a beautiful inside room with those huge windows to look out over the sea. And of course, you've got your phone right there to call the porter call your cabin steward, have him bring something over. Isn't this something? And then look at the ships of the day. We're talking late 70s, early 80s, the cruise ships of the day. Look at the size of the windows on all those cabins up there instead of those round portholes. Oh, you were in luxury. How about this? How about this? The 3 styles of rooms you can have. Look at this. The top room there. Well, actually, it's 2 styles. Oh, no, I guess it's 3 styles. The top there, you got the porthole looking out and the 2 beds, which, can be used as couches during the day. And then and the middle room there, the middle one is similar design with your cabin steward coming in with all kinds of treats. And then look at that bottom photo, eating in your room, the luxury of eating lunch, breakfast, lunch, or dinner in your room, having them bring the food to you. Look at how comfortable those folks are eating food on an ottoman. I mean, we're talking luxury experiences. That's pretty darn good. How about this? Now we're talking an inside room on the bottom there for super discounts. Notice that the bed is on the bottom there, at the bottom there. And just above that bed is a bunk bed that falls off or it comes off the wall. Pretty cool. And then you bring your curtain around there. Oh, lovely. Or the top photo there, a couple in a beautiful outside cabin with their bed there. Now that was luxury sailing at the height. Now look at these guys. Ooh, look at this. You got the couple with the tuxedo on there and a lovely evening gown and those portholes looking out over the sea. Oh, the luxury and all the amenities, having a wonderful drink before dinner. And then down below, there's one of those fold out bunks on the roof there with that bunk bed on the bottom, the bed on the bottom, the bed on the top. And then mom and dad get to sleep here. Oh man, are we talking luxury? Now, you remember back in 1979, 80, this is how you went up there. This is the cruise ship in those days. Look at the luxury of this cruise ship waiting for you. And all you had to do, hey, if you were curious, you could cruise 7.5 days, all outside staterooms from $615 each, double occupancy. And if you book early bird and whatever it's less, just clip this little thing over here, mail it into us, and we'll send you a brochure. Talk about going to Alaska in style. Now, this is 1970. $615 in 1970 would be today $2,000 per person for all outside staterooms. Or how about this one? The Mexican Riviera Princess Cruise, the Love Boat. There you have it. There's your porter right there with that red jacket, the bartender, the bar guy. Man, are we talking living it up, dancing it up? This is good times. Everything is included. Food, continental cuisine, entertainment, nightly floor shows, feature movies too. Yeah, hotels were never like this. They're not kidding. Hotels were never like this. And this is the life. Look at this. Long cruises to everywhere. Yes, Holland America Flotels. These aren't hotels. These are flotels. And I don't know if you can read those dollar amounts down there. We're talking about $4,000 for 40-day cruises and $1,900 cruises. And so I can't read them myself, but these are all kinds of great cruises to all kinds of great ports. I'm telling you, these are flotels. Fantastic. And of course, Cunard Caribbean 79. 1979, baby. Oh, man had landed on the moon and stopped going there 7 years ago, 72. Look at this. Cunard Caribbean 79. Cunard Princess, Cunard Countess. Choice of cruise from Florida or San Juan, the newest ships in the world, finest in their class. Savings on airfares and land stays. Oh, man, look at that beautiful ship. We're talking, enjoying it. And look, you can't go on a cruise without being dressed up, okay? You gotta have the, you gotta have the look, You can't just show up like a schlep. So, ladies, look at the styles for 1980 81. Here you go. There's your look for the 80s. That gal, second from the left, those shoes aren't actually all that ancient. I mean, they still sell shoes like that in Europe. They kind of almost look Croc-like, but they're not Crocs, obviously. Isn't that something? Yeah, those gals were hot. These were babes, man. These were the babes. Your wife looked like that on a cruise. You were one proud guy. Okay, here we go. Paradise has its price. On Chandri, it starts at $48. Now look at this. Limited sale, $5.99, 7 nights, 5 ports, Caribbean and South America. I have a suspicion that these are $48 a night prices, but I can't be sure. I caught that ad. I thought, oh, look at those. Look at these ads. Remember these ads I used to see in the paper all the time? That's what they look like. You kids 15 under don't know what I'm talking about. You don't care. You never saw anything like this. You didn't mind. Here you go. The 3 most popular resorts in the Caribbean. Look at that. Carnival Cruise Lines. Look at those Carnival ships of 1980-ish, 1979, 80, 81. This was cruising at its most modern, baby. Yeah, not all the world greats resorts are on land. There are 3 at sea, the fun ships of Carnival Cruise Lines. They're waiting for you. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Okay, take a look at this. Take a look at this. Okay, you are 50 and younger. You would never experience this. These are the kind of ads that were in the 70s and the 80s. And this is Pan Am Airlines, the Pan Am airline. Pan Am puts the middle seat out of business. Can you imagine that happening today? That they would take the middle seat out of all airplanes? Could you possibly, in any way, imagine that happening today to get passengers to fill up the plane? I mean, I think they could get away with it. I think it would work. I think today what they could do is put in 2 wider seats instead of the 3 on all 737s. Take the 3 out, and put in 2 only for the whole plane, 2 on each side, and you can charge more. People will pay it. People will pay 25% more, 30% more to get a wider seat and only have 2 per side. They'll pay it. They'll pay it. And you don't have to deal with the third person because airlines don't make money on the third person. They really don't. They think they do, but they don't. You can make more money with 2 people on each side than 3, but they're so stupid they don't know. They think they're so smart, these guys. Look at this. Sleeperette to the world. Oh, man, look at that. Pan Am's first class seat. Look at first class travel. And don't forget your American Express card, too. The first class card to get you onto a first class seat. Look at that. You can't quite lie flat, but you get a blanket, and they got those little feet there underneath your legs there. Wow, man, that is luxury. Look at that. How about this ad here? We couldn't make it any bigger on the outside, so we made it bigger on the inside. Look at those seats. 2, 2, and 2 on a 747 airplane instead of 3, 4, and 3. 2, 2, and 2. How about that for comfort? Pan Am. Why did they go under? I have no idea. How about this? Pan Am 1959-60. This replaced ocean liners. This is what killed the ocean liner because they had the seats in the back where that hostess is back there. And then you had the captain coming out to the front where these folks are in their lounge. They're sitting in a lounge, having a couple of drinks and meeting each other and shooting the breeze. Because you know what? From New York to London was only 6 hours, 6.5 hours. So you sat down in the seat to take off. You had your dinner back there, and then you had an hour or 2 to lounge around here, hang out and talk to people, stretch your legs, come and talk. Let the captain come and talk to you. It's on autopilot. Don't worry. It's flying itself. Don't worry. There were 2 other guys in the cabin. Don't worry. There were 3 in the cabin in those days. The pilot, the co-pilot, and the navigator to figure out where the hell we're going. there was really not much in the way of autopilot, but look at that. The Pan Am Clipper. Oh man, no wonder cruise ocean liners died. Now look at this dinner. Look at this dinner coming to you. First class service, and your flight attendant is coming in. Look at all the selection you had for dinner. Now we're talking. Oh man, is this great or what? How about this shot right here? Now, I'm sorry about the blurriness of this photo, but I want you to take particular attention. I don't want you to look at the guy who's carving the meat. And I don't want you looking at the first guy that's right by my yap over here, by my mouth. I don't want you looking at this guy. I don't know if I can do this. Not this guy. I want you looking at the couple behind him. I want you to look at her face. You know what she's thinking? I bet you I know what she's thinking. I don't know if you think what I'm thinking, but I think what she's thinking is, good God, please God Almighty, don't hit any turbulence, because that man will stab me with those knives. Can you imagine being on a plane today and having a guy come down your aisleway with a slab of prime rib like that, carving it in your aisleway? Can you just imagine it? No, you can't. No one can imagine it. Here you go. Here are folks just being royally looked after on board a plane. Look at that. Notice above the stewardess, way up at the top there, way up at the top. That's where the extra, well, today, that's where our baggage goes. Look what's up there. Life preservers and pillows. How safe would you feel today if you got on an airplane and everything up top there was life preservers and pillows? These folks, they got them drunk and they fed them so they wouldn't take a look up there because they didn't want to have them get nervous. Okay, look at this spread here, folks. This is flying the way it was. This is the way it was back in the day. Look at this food selection available for these folks right here, right now. You didn't get anything in a tin foil wrapper. You didn't get plastic containers they had to snap the lid off. This was the real deal. They brought on freshly made, wonderful food. And look at the guy. Have you noticed what he's wearing? A chef's hat, for crying out loud. That is a full bona fide chef on an airplane to feed you folks on your trip to wherever you're going. Can you just imagine having that service today with all the Karens that we run into on flights? And I don't know, what do you call the guys that are belligerent? You got Karens and you got, I don't know what the guys are called. Anyway, there you go. All right, here's some more fun photos. Here you go. The two on the aisle, new Clipper class style. Look at that. That is a 747 airplane. You got two, and two. Look at how wide those seats are. Look at this. Oh my gosh, is that incredible? And the happy folks serving you, and say hello to Pan Am. We've redesigned Clipper class completely, so you'll never get stuck in the middle seat or by an elbow. You'll never be more than one seat from an aisle either, even if there's a full house. What's more, our Clipper class seats are wider and more comfortable than ever before. In fact, they're the same seats selected for the first class on the next generation of jets, the ones due for delivery around 1985. You see, Pan Am's new Clipper class isn't just an upgraded economy section. It's a totally separate part of the plane, especially for business travelers, with all the extras you'd expect and a lot you wouldn't. New Clipper class is now offered on select Pan Am 747 routes, and by mid-year, we'll have it on our entire 747 fleet worldwide. Ask your travel agent, corporate travel department, or us about Pan Am's new Clipper class. There is the business class of the future, Marty. 1985, November 5th, 1985. Oh my gosh, Marty. Let's go back to the future. This is what was waiting for us in 1985. Wow, look at that. All right. Here you go. This fall, see Europe and save on TWA's new low fares. Trans World Airline. Look at that airplane. 4 propeller engines. Oh, that plane can fly the world. I'm telling you right now, you can go to Italy, Switzerland, France. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, can you fly? Look at the route on that globe right by my eyeballs here. Look at that right there. Look at that right there. Oh, the routes coming across the Atlantic and the Pacific. You have to land in Hawaii, and then you have to land somewhere else to get over to the Orient. But my gosh, oh, across the U.S. and overseas, you depend on TWA. Oh, there's a way to go. How about this? Look at this, Mad Men. The era of this is the 50s. This is the 50s. This would be the mid 50s. We're talking the mainliner 300, the Douglas DC-6. Look how huge this airplane was. And look at the route map down below. You can fly all the way to Hawaii with this thing, up and down the West Coast and through the Midwest over to the East. Oh, this is luxury. Absolutely phenomenal. It's as good as life can get. And one more for you. The DC-6. Look at the inside of that plane. Look at that. Oh my gosh, is that luxurious. 2 and 2 on each side of the plane there. The little first class section in the front there behind the pilots. Then you got the rest of the plane there. Oh boy, 4 engines. And then you can see these other seat plans that they've got laid out here. Oh man, we're talking state of the art, boy. You won the war in the Second World War. Canadians and Americans won the war. And so it was time for the spoils of war. And these DC-6s, they created airplanes not to bomb people, but to transport people in style, comfort, across great distances around the world. Absolutely amazing. I'll tell you right now, that is something else. Oh, Encre Oblay. Diane Flowers, hello, Bruce and all. In Delaware, it's 85 degrees. Gas is $3.71. Lee Shear, number 27 from Boca Raton. I am wishing you well. Thank you, my friend. Rocky, hi, Bruce, sponsors, subscribers, all other folks. It was 96 today here in Chesapeake, Virginia, but it's now 80 due to the long-needed rain. Gas is $3.70 a gallon over a week. Thumbs ups, number 15, I think. Thank you, my friend. Jason Kimmons, good evening from Lakeland, Florida. Every day we get excessive heat warning. Look forward to the fall. Stephen Butler, I just finished reading Perilous Gambit by Kevin B. Chapman. I enjoyed the book. Viva Las Vegas. Kevin writes well. Diane Flowers, cruising to Bermuda, September 10 to 16 on the Carnival Magic. First time to Bermuda. What are some things I should see? Kirk Brunson, hi, Bruce. From Kirk from here. We're working in New York. Adam, number 5, watching from San Diego. I had a $5.15 a gallon gas today. Adam, number 33, I'm here. Lee, I just canceled a Virgin December cruise and they kept my $7.35 deposit. Not cool. Andrew Cabate, hi there, Bruce. Danielle Fields, hello, everybody. Chris Scorpio, hi there. How you doing, pal? Kevin Chapman, hi, Bruce. Thumbs up 45 tonight. 3 weeks away from departure to Bermuda on Liberty of the Seas. Need a rest. Love the trip down memory lane tonight. Wow. Diane Schroeder. Hi there, Diane. How are you? How crazy is that? Hi, Bruce, my Palm Desert buddy. How are you today? Nice to have you here. Are you having fun with these yesteryear looks? Can you believe these images and this lifestyle that your parents and your grandparents really had? This is likely what was going on. My mother and father, they came to Canada in 1951 and 52. And my dad was 22. My mother was approximately 19, 20 when she came over. And there was no way in 3 years or 4 years, in 1955, 56, there was no way they could have afforded any kind of those flights, never. And even in 1960, 61, when jet service began to become available, they could not have afforded to fly back to Germany to visit the relatives. It wasn't until, I'm going to say, the first time my mother and father went to Germany by jet plane from Canada, it would have to have been 1970 or 71, in that vintage, that time frame. A good 10, 12 years after jet service was introduced. Because by that time, there were dozens of airlines around the world, dozens and dozens, maybe 3, 4 dozen, that had jets to offer service. So there was competition. I do recall my grandmother coming from Germany to Canada to visit us in 1970, I'm going to say 74, and my parents paid for it. My mom and dad put up the money to fly her over to visit us. And of course, she was, blown away. I mean, just blown away because she was born in the early 1900s. But the first time I flew on a jet was 1977. That's the first time I was on a jet, and I flew from Toronto to Calgary. I came out west. That was how long it was before I went on the plane. But the world we looked at here, this vintage world, it was just unbelievable. Diane, almost time for my Allure of the Seas cruise in September, all inclusive. I can't wait for the loft suite. Diane, you're going to love it as I know you will. You're going to love it. And our room was just above the Anchor. Noisy, says Susan R. Yikes. These old days, these old travel days, my gosh, and these old vintage cruise ship shots, these rooms, this shot here, looking at this modern hip couple at the top there with their beautiful room looking out through the portholes. Oh my, they must have just come on to the ship from a shore excursion, because the gal is holding a box of brand new shoes, and then she's got a shopping bag there under the table. She must have gone shopping on shore and brought all kinds of stuff back. Because you can buy things in Nassau you could never buy in the United States back in the day. And of course, here's mom and dad. You got to think this couple is in their 50s or 60s back in the 80s. So, add 40 years, these folks would now be 100. They're not here anymore, but they were enjoying the good life. And that was a good life cabin with the wood trim and everything. Oh my goodness, how wonderful the world was. Long cruises to everywhere. Oh my gosh, the food and the ambiance. And again, this room here, oh man, look at that. This couple got away from the kids, or they haven't got kids yet. Maybe they're on their honeymoon. This is the getaway of getaways. Is this great or what, man? This is luxury sailing at its finest. Can't wait to see the floor show. That's what we're talking about here. Can't wait to see the floor show. Things have changed. Yes, they have. They sure have. But I got to tell you, I just love these ads. Hello to Pan Am. Goodbye, middle seat. Hello to the sleeperette to the world. Oh, man. Can you imagine what first class looks like now compared to this? What business class looks like compared to this? Oh, gee whiz. I'll tell you. And there you go. 2 and 2 seating on a 747, man. Look at the aisleway, all that wasted space in the aisles. Oh, gee whiz. Unreal. And this photo here on a jet, I can't get over it. There's no overhead compartments to store your stuff. They had so much room and luggage down below. You didn't bring any luggage on board the plane itself. You just kept everything down below. I mean, you didn't have to worry about bringing your bags on board. And look at this spread. Soups and breads and biscuits and hors d'oeuvres and a cutting meat station with prime rib meat. And those are sausages hanging off of strings. Did you see that at the front there at the bottom? Those are salamis and bolognas and all kinds of sausages hanging off. You want a bologna sandwich cut right from the bologna? I got it for you, buddy. I got a knife here that'll cut anything. Oh, man, don't you get rough with me. Look at that. Or look, I think she's giving him. Caviar. I think that's caviar. Isn't that caviar? It looks to me like caviar. And the chef with the hat. Oh, come on, man. We got to bring this back. We've got to bring this back. This has to be economy travel. This will make Americans so happy they'll forget to be mad at each other anymore. Americans will be so pleased and so thrilled to go traveling on an airplane. They won't be able to wait until they can go on an airplane ride, knowing that the chef is going to serve them personally. That's lobster he's holding there. That is lobster. Oh gosh, that's good looking food, isn't it? Man, and look at these happy people. Everyone with a cocktail. Welcome to business class 1985. Marty McFly went from 1985 back to 1955. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those are the days, kids. I tell you, we got to go back. We can't do what we're doing now. It's just not working. There you go. Diane, Bruce, I can't believe I got you beat on the year. I first flew on a plane in 65, flying to Hawaii as a 5-year-old. Man, that must have been something, Diane. My first cruise was on Royal in 1980 when I was 20. Oh my gosh. You don't look a day over 30, you know that. Rocky, my first jet flight was also 1965, Boston to Fort Lauderdale. Worst sunburn I ever had. Oh, man. I thought my dad had the life of Raleigh. He was a traveling salesman for the province of Ontario, selling musical instruments to music stores. And he would drive his car to Northern Ontario. And I think once a year, he would drive to the far part of Northern Ontario. And it would be it would be a 2-week trip for him. He'd go a week all the way out there and then a week back. But I remember one year, and I don't know if it's 1964 or 65, and he made arrangements to drive all the way from the Toronto area all the way to Thunder Bay and Aurora, Ontario, which is towards the Manitoba border. That's got to be 1,000 miles from home. I mean, that is so far away. But what he did was, I believe he drove his car back to Thunder Bay, Ontario, which should be 800 miles away. And on a Friday afternoon, he flew from Thunder Bay, Ontario, back to Toronto, spent the weekend with us because it was a long weekend. And then on the Monday, he flew back to Thunder Bay, Ontario to catch up with his car and continue his travel all the way back down south. And he was with us again the next Friday night. And I thought this was the coolest thing ever, that he could fly from way up there to us in like 2.5 hours each way at 25,000 feet on a propeller-driven 4-engine aircraft. That was mind-blowing for me. 1965, man, that was the modern era. That was the modern age, Diane. Thank you. You're welcome, Diane. 1964, 65. That's how you did it. And he made so much money in those days that he could afford to buy this airplane ticket to do a round trip. I don't know what it cost. I have no idea what it would have cost him, but he certainly didn't want to be away from his family for 3 whole days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, way up in Northern Ontario. So that was a great thing. But yeah, it took me a long time before I got on my first airplane ride. It was my first airplane ride was actually on a single engine Cessna that a local pilot my dad hired for a tour over our hometown. That would have been 1972, maybe. That was my first airplane ride. But my first jet plane ride was on an L-1011, I think it was, Toronto to Calgary, 1977. Yeah. And then for the next, 15 years, I flew a lot. After 1981, 82, I flew a lot and for business. And so went the other way. But oh my, those old days, those days of from way back when. I remember in economy in Canada, on Air Canada or on CP Air or Canadian Airlines International, they used to call it, even if you were in economy, you would get real dishes for your meal. I mean, they would bring you a tray and put it in front of you, and on the tray would be real forks and knives and real dishes and real food. Because every airline was competing for your business. They wanted you to be on, and food was one of the way to attract you onto the plane. They had to offer something more than somebody else, not something less, something more. And so the fight was on. Luggage was included, 2 pieces of luggage included automatically. You could bring a piece of luggage into the plane, but no one would bother because you could put everything in your suitcases. Drinks would be maybe a couple of bucks, and pop and everything, coffee, tea, it's free, no charge. Blankets, no charge. Of course, there was no internet, and there really wasn't any television. They would show movies on closed circuit things, but those developed in the 80s and 90s finally. But that era of all inclusive is over. That died very quickly. And now we have this crazy world of angry people at airports. Can you blame them? Because flying is not a fun experience anymore like it used to be, unfortunately. Anyway, there you go. It's the way it was. Thumbs ups number 60. 60 thumbs ups. You guys are incredible today. Thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up button today, getting us to 60 thumbs ups. We need 40 more to make it to 100, and I am certain the rerunners are going to help us out. If you're watching on the rerun, folks, please help us out and get us over to 100 thumbs ups. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you didn't mind a little walk down memory lane. Those of you 50 and younger, you never experienced that in real life. If you did, you were babies. You didn't know. You don't remember. You certainly weren't adults. Things so dramatically changed in air travel. It is just unbelievable. And of course, on cruise travel, it's completely changed on cruise travel too. It's no longer the same. Diane, all you guys in the chat, if you've ever met Bruce, he is the coolest person ever. It is all my pleasure to have hosted him at our country club where he used to have a condo. Thank you, Diane, so much. For you're just so kind to me. Monterey Country Club is where you can find Diane Schroeder. If you're ever going to be in Palm Desert, California, and you want to spend a month or 2 or 3, you head down to Monterey Country Club. And if you play your cards right, I think Diane's daughter will take care of you for a rental. But if you want to buy a condo or a house down in Palm Desert, you check out Diane Schroeder at Monterey Country Club. She'll take good care of you. She knows everything about everything, and she'll take care of you on whatever you need down there, and you will be blown away by the selection of real estate from all kinds of budgets. Do you name it? It's unbelievable. What a place. Jen and I will be there for 2 months this year. We're only going to be down there for April and May. We're going to be down there for April and May in 2024 because we're going to Australia and New Zealand from December until the end of March, and April, May will be in Palm Desert again to finish off our winter. So we're going to spend the summer in Australia, New Zealand, and the last of winter in Palm Desert before we come back to Calgary. By the time we get back here, it'll be early June, and it'll be nice and warm again. So there you go, Alan Carter. Nice stuff. There you have it. Never a dull moment, always a good time. You want to know, let me just double check something here and see if I got this right. If you want to know the kind of neighborhood that Diane Schroeder hangs out in, here it is right here. That is the kind of neighborhood that Diane hangs out in right there. That is Monterey Country Club, where Jen and I spend our winters whenever we can. And that's San Jacinto Mountain in the background there, the purple snow-covered mountain there. And way off in the right-hand distance, that mountain, I think it's called Big Bear, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a gap between those two mountain ranges. That'll take you to Los Angeles. But you are looking at a golf course shot right there with the condos and the swimming pool and the jacuzzis, the spas. We're talking nice. Looking forward to seeing you in April and May. You betcha. Sweet, says Diane. Yeah, this is where you can hang out in the wintertime when it's 20, 30 below and drifting snow up north, sleet and hail, and who knows what. Car won't start in the morning. It's dark in the morning. It's dark in the afternoon. Everyone's in a lousy mood. You come down here. You come on down here and hang out for a month or two in the wintertime. And oh boy. Yeah, it's Big Bear. She said, that's Big Bear. There you go. Stephen Butler, thanks for this interesting show with all the old travel ads, luxury travel back in the day. You got it, buddy. We loved it. Absolutely loved it. Oh man, I'll tell you, I can't wait to get back there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me today, as always, and thanks again for these thumbs ups. We're now at 63 and counting. They're still coming in. 63 thumbs ups and counting. Thank you all. Have a great week. Take care of yourselves. Stay cool. Stay healthy. Stay safe. And we'll see you here next Monday for our last show before we head to Europe. And I look forward to seeing you then, and we'll see what's going on, and we'll keep you posted on everything happening out there. Thank you, everybody for everything. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week from Calgary, Alberta. Goodbye for now.